प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ओम। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादी नगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने ओम्। ब्रह्माहं यत् प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितं श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगताङ्गुरुम्। यः परमात्मा जगत्सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपीमनोहरम्। यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि। गुरूणां चरणां भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपालेशतो द्वैत चिन्ताकौस्तुभमारभे। Since it has been long time that we did our Tattvanusandhanam class last, I think we need to have not just recapitulation, but perhaps it is something like beginning new. We had completed the first chapter of Tattvanusandhanam, and at the end of the first chapter, it was said that it is through the Tattvamasi Mahavakya a vritti arises. Vritti meaning a cognition takes place as a result of understanding the Mahavakyam. And the nature, the form of this cognition is Akhandakara vritti. It is direct knowledge. It is a cognition which is in form of direct knowledge. Meaning, it does not have any vyavadhanam. Whenever there is any form of obstacle in the knowledge, that knowledge one is bound to treat as information. But when the knowledge no longer has any obstacle, that knowledge now is called as experience. Therefore, in the very beginning, and I must have stressed this fact over 1,000 times, that one does not need to go in search of experience. What one needs is knowledge, and knowledge which is not obstructed. Vyavadhana rahitam jnanam. In case of Brahma jnanam, Atma Ikya Bodham, the Vyavadhanam is in form of Samshaya and Viparyaya. Samshaya meaning a doubt. Koti Dvaya Avagahi Jnanam. It may be a snake, it may be a rope, it may be a rope, it may not be a rope. When you have two categories of knowledge regarding the same object, then it is Koti Dvaya Avagahe Jnanam. This is Samshaya. This is called as Samshaya. And Viparyaya means it is in form of exactly what that object is not. When your experience or your knowledge or information at that point does not correspond to the nature of object. In our classic example, when it is a rope, but when it is cognized as a snake. So thus, for you at this moment, it is a snake, though the object is a rope. Exactly, then this is called as Viparyaya, Viparita Bhavana. When our knowledge is free from Samshaya and Viparyaya, which over here are the obstacles, the same knowledge now free from Samshaya and Viparyaya is itself Brahmanubhava. This is the experience. And therefore, all that one needs is only the removal of doubt and the Viparita Bhavana. Thus, as a result of listening to this, a result of understanding the Tattvanusandhanam Mahavakya, the vritti that arises is Akhandakara Aparoksha vritti. And by the virtue of that, the ignorance is destroyed. Dukkha Hani takes place, and Sukhavirbhava also takes place. And therefore, Dukkha Hani and Sukhavirbhava, which is then called as the Purushartha, is accomplished. But it is not ordinary Purushartha. What is the nature of this Purushartha? It is ultimate. Because now it is dukkhahana is of what nature? The hani of dukkha. The hani means not English honey, okay? What is the nature of this removal, destruction of ignorance? It is absolute, complete, atyantika nivritti. Dukkhasya atyantika nivritti. And what is the nature of this sukham which is attained? Paramananda prapti. And hence, this is the ultimate purushartha, parama purushartha, which is called as the moksha. And by what has it happened? It has happened through the knowledge which has taken place through the Mahavakyam. So because of Mahavakyam, Akhandakara Vritti, which is aparoksha, in nature of aparoksha jnanam, takes place, that Akhandakara Vritti takes place, which generates the direct knowledge, thus destroying ignorance, and with destruction of ignorance, destruction of dukkham also takes place, and sukha virbhava ananda vaptischa bhavati iti uktam. This is what was said till the last, this was the conclusion of the first chapter, Prathama Paricheda. Naturally, when you have now heard this, what should be your legitimate question at this point? What will be your legitimate question? You are going to ask that what is this vritti? Now we understand by vritti you have said cognition, but we need to know what is this vritti, whether it is akhandakara or khandakara vritti. But please explain to us what is vritti. Tatra kayyam vritti is the obvious, naturally arising question. Tatra kayyam vritti. Kim va tatra pramanam? Katham va tadutpattihi? Vrittya va kim prayojanam? How many questions do you have? You have 4 questions. What is this vritti? By this question, what is demanded? What is the lakshanam of the vritti? Kim va tatra pramanam? Then this is what is called as vritti. Whatever that is, what is the pramanam? What is the means of knowledge that you have employed in order to know the vritti? What has allowed you to know vritti? Kim va tatra pramanam? Second question. So now the demand is lakshana and pramana for vritti. Then the third question is katham va tadutpattihi? How is it born, or how does it come into existence? Katham va tadutpattihi? Third. And fourth, vrittya va kim prayojanam? So by keeping these 4 questions, the teacher begins his discourse. So now we know that till the next topic that arises, this is the structure of our discourse. The discourse will be centered on answering these 4 questions. Karyam vrittihi, kim va tatra pramanam, katham va tadutpattihi, vrittya va kim prayojanam. Iti akanshayam prama aprama bhedena vividham vrittim nirupayitum prathamam vrittim lakshayati. Thus, with this akanksha, this being your inquiry, this desirous of knowing the topic with all these 4 details, iti akanksha, this is the akanksha. Iti akanshayam prama aprama bhedena dvividham vrittim nirupayitum. The author further is going to show us the bifurcation of vritti, meaning the vritti has 2 types. There are 2 types of vritti. What is dvividha? What is that? Prama, aprama. One is called as prama, the other one is called as aprama. Okay. Bhedena dvividham vrittim nirupayitum prathamam vrittim lakshayati. Thus, in order for us to understand the vritti is of these two forms, prama and aprama, the teacher now goes to define what is vritti. Moola Grantha. Vrittir Nama, do you people remember what is the definition? Huh? Does anybody remember without looking into the text? What is the definition of vritti?
Vishesh Parinam
Vishaya Chaitanya.
of Antakaran or ignorance, which is Abhivyanjak of Vishesh Chaitanya.
Very good. Is this what is remembered, or is this what one is
No,
reading?
no, I had read it yesterday, Swamiji.
Very
I
nice.
read yesterday.
Some homework. Very good. Very good. Very good. Glad. Sarita याद है? बिना देखे?
Yes, Swamiji. वृत्तिर्नाम विषय चैतन्य अभिव्यंजकत्वम अज्ञान अंतकरण अज्ञानयोः परिणाम विशेषः.
अज्ञान और अंतःकरण का क्रम यदि बदल भी जाए तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. अज्ञान अंतःकरणयोः परिणाम विशेषः, उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. अथवा अंतःकरणाज्ञानयोः परिणाम विशेषः. And now, as we are going to progress into the text, remember the steps which the author is taking to develop the whole topic. Don't miss any step. Missing a step means that one will feel disconnected to the topic then that is going on. Because then whatever comes into the discourse of the teacher is a proper link, one after. So this is a very wonderful text because it just does not jump from a topic to topic, but systematically develops from one topic to the next, showing the link, the sambandha in between, and then goes to the next. So vrittir nama Vishaya Chaitanya Abhivanjakontakkaranajnanayoho Parinama Visheshaha. So this is the definition. What is vritti? Vritti basically is a parinama vishesha. It is a specific transformation. Parinama. It is a specific modification, transformation. Sir, but what is the material that has transformed into this specific appearance? So he says, Antakarana Ajnanayo. Oh, it is what? It is, so these are the two dalas, these are the two parts of the definition. Ajnana Antakaranayoho Parinama Vishesha is one part. Vishaya Chaitanya Bhivanjakatvam is the first part. So these are the two dalas, and we have to understand why this definition is composed of these two parts and what is the significance, importance of having both of them. Can we not have the definition with just one part? This is a valid question. So we have to now see that both of them are not indisposable. They are indisposable parts of the definition, inevitable parts, unavoidable parts of the definition. Vishaya Chaitanya Bhivanjakaha Antakarana Jnanayoho Parinama Visheshaha. It is a parinama, a transformation, and it is a vishesha parinama, a specific transformation of ignorance and antakaranam. At the same time, simultaneously, it is Vishaya Chaitanya Abhivyanjaka. It is something that helps the illumination of Vishaya Chaitanya. Now, somehow these words must have allowed you to have some little idea. Vishaya Chaitanya Bhivyanchaka. We will see everything. Then, in the commentary section, Yadyapi Prameya Siddhihi Pramanad iti Prathamam Pramana Nirupanam Uchitam. What is Uchitam? What is Yogyam? That whenever you want to establish anything, whenever you want to know anything, what is it that you must be equipped with? The means of knowledge. The means of knowledge. So instead of showing, what is the yogyam? To equip the person with the means of knowledge. And when he will employ the means of knowledge, then obviously that what is known through that means of knowledge gets established, will be known. So Prameya Siddhi takes place through Pramanam. Correct? Prameya Siddhi Prameya means that what Pramatum Yogyam. What is Yogyam? What is Yogyam means what should be known. Uchitam. So Pramana Nirupanam Uchitam. So you should have had first explained to us and spoken to us about the Pramanam. Instead of that, in the first chapter, you directly jump to the Prameya. What is Brahman? you should have, before explaining that Atma is Brahman or what is Brahma, you should have had shown us, equipped us with the Pramanam. So Pramana Nirupanam Uchitam. Tathapi Tantrantare Prameyasya Jadataya Pramanadhina Siddhihi Bhavati Tannirupanam Uchitam. So now, apart from Vedanta, everywhere else, the object which has to be known is jadam, is inert, is jada. But the prameya of Vedanta is Parameshwara, who is Chaitanya. Okay? And so, the prameya vastu of all other branches of knowledge, the prameya vastu is, what is the nature of the prameya vastu? Jada. Jada is inert everywhere. Over here, the prameya is Chaitanyam. And therefore, he says, in other cases, it is perfectly justified that you are equipped with the Pramana Nirupanam first. Over here, you don't have to follow that rule. Why? Iha tu. Iha means Vedanta Shastre. Iha. Okay? Iha means in Vedanta Shastre tu Advitiya Atma Sakshi Chaitanyasya Sarva Pramanadi Vyavahara Sadhakasya Vedanta Prameyataya Tan Nirupanam Kritam. But we should know that entire range of the Pramana Vyavahara is dependent on the Sakshi, on the Chaitanya, is dependent on the conscious principle. And this very conscious principle is what we are inquiring into. We are not inquiring into the jada. And therefore, whichever means of knowledge it may be, it will be able to function only when employed by the Chetana Purusha, when employed by the conscious person. And this conscious person itself is our prameya. And so what are you going to talk about? What does the Vedanta Shastra talk about? This conscious person means the living principle, the life principle. How is it? That this Chaitanyam is Brahman. This is what was told. Vyavahara sadhakasya Vedanta prameyataya sarva pramanadi vyavahara sadhakasya kosti sarva pramana vyavahara sadhakaha Chaitanyam. That Chaitanyam is the sarva vyavahara sadhakaha. And in that vyavahara, even your pramana vyapara, pramana vyavahara also is included. And therefore, Vedanta prameyataya, this is the principle which is to be known by Vedanta. Sarvasya Vedaishcha sarvaihi ahameva vedyaha Vedanta kridveda videva chaham. Okay. Through this Veda, what is to be known? This aham. Okay. Parameshwara has to be known. Vedanta prameyataya tan nirupanam kritam. Unless and until the conscious person is there, even if you have all sorts of pramanas kept, none of these pramanas have any value unless and until they are employed by the Chetana Purusha. And therefore, Tannirupanam Kritam. Atra means Asmin Vedanta Shastre. Tasya Nirupanam Kritam Kasya? Chaitanyasya Chetanasya Nirupanam. And what was that Chetanasya Nirupanam? That this Chetana Vastu is Brahman alone. Tan Nirupanam Kritam Anantaram. And after that, followed by that, Anantaram Pramanadi Nirupanam Uchitam. Now our inquiry into how did you know that this Atma is Brahman, etc. How that Pramana Nirupanam will be done now, later on. Atona Kapyanupapattihi. Hence, there is no logical disparity. Nakapyanupapattihi yatha ahuhu. This is what is said. Manena meya gati manena meya dhigatistu yukta prame dharmasya jadyad vidhinishta kande meyena manadhigatistu yukta vedanta vakyada jadam himeyam. Elsewhere, everywhere, what happens? Manena meyadhigatistu yukta. Manena means pramanena meyadhigati. Prameyadhigati. The cognition of object is perfectly justified. It is through the pramana, the prameya vastu is known. Whether it is dharma or whether it is all other shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha and the rest of the world, whatever it is, it will be known through their appropriate means. Manena meyadhigatistu yukta. Why? Dharmasya jadyad vidhinishta kande. Now he is talking about the two sections of the Vedas. The first section of the Veda, which is Karma Kanda, which is Vidhinishta, do this, avoid doing this. So where it is given, these instructions are in form of Vidhinisheda Shastra, that is the Dharma Shastra. But that way, even if it is Dharma, how is it? Jadyam, there is Jadyam. It is Jada, inert. And hence it is justified that you first show us what is the pramanam, and by employing the pramanam, we will know the prameya vastu. Vidhinishta kande, parantu, in Vedanta Shastra, in the Upanishad section of the Vedas, what happens? We know that even the existence of the pramana is also illumined by the Chaitanyam. So pramana is going to show you the prameya vastu. But that pramanam itself is shown, is illumined by the Chetana over here, and this Chetana is the prameya. Meyena manadhigatistu yukta vedanta vakyad ajadam himeyam. But this is ulta in Vedanta Shastra. Elsewhere, it is the pramanam which will establish the prameya. But over here, the prameya establishes the pramanam. Why? Because the prameya vastu is chaitanyam, ajadyam himeyam. Okay, so now he has that was a prasangad agatam. Why did you not talk about the pramana in the beginning? He says, we have, because this is Vedanta Shastra. Therefore, the prameya is discussed first, and then now the pramana part of it. Now, vrittir nama vishaya chaitanya abhivanjako ajnana antakaranayoho parinama visheshaha. This is the definition. So, vrittir nama, vrittihi, vrittijnanam, the cognition. Obviously, the cognition takes place, the knowledge takes place because of this thought frame. There is a thought. So how do you know this is a thought? Because now that the ghatakara vritti has taken place, and hence that has allowed you to know it is a pot. So vrittihi vrittijnanam ghatadi avachinna chaitanyam vishaya chaitanyam. So we know now that Parameshwara, the Chaitanyam, is one and sarva vyapaka. It is sarva vyapaka, all pervasive. Okay, now that you remember the entire prakriya that we have seen in the first chapter, that Parameshwara is the abhinna nimittopadana karanam. This Parameshwara is Chaitanya Satchidananda Vastu, and therefore the Chaitanyam is everywhere. But when this Chaitanyam, the is existence in Chaitanyam, though is one and the same, yet consciousness and existence is one and the same, but we are now going to take only the aspect of Chaitanyam. So Chaitanyam, which seems to be limited by the ghata, by an object, and that object, let us say, is a pot. So this pot, which is as if limiting, as if I'm saying, it does not limit, as if limiting the Chaitanyam. What is limiting? The pot. What is this pot? The Vishaya. And therefore, now that, how is this Chaitanyam? Vishaya Chaitanyam. Vishaya Chaitanyam means Vishaya Vachinna Chaitanyam. What is Vishaya Chaitanyam? Vishaya Vachinna Chaitanyam. For example, the space in the room seems to be limited by the walls of the room. And therefore, what are you going to say? This is the room space, Mathakasha. What has made you say it is Mathakasha? Because of the walls of the room. Similarly, because of this Vishaya, Ghatadi, Vishaya, it seems to be limiting the Chaitanyam, and therefore now the Chaitanyam over here, just as you have said that as the Mathakasha, the room space, the Chaitanyam is called as Vishaya Chaitanyam. And how are you going to use, what is the meaning of this word Vishaya Chaitanyam? Vishaya Vachinna Chaitanyam. Avachinna means limited by. Limited Chaitanyam, limited by, conditioned by the Vishaya. So, Ghatadya Vachinna Chaitanyam, Vishaya Chaitanyam. Krodhadishu ativyapti varanaya purvadalam. Now, what is the purpose of having this Vishayavachinna Vishaya Chaitanya Abhivyanjakam? This part of the definition. What is the purpose? So he says, Krodhadishu ativyapti varanaya purvadalam. The first part of the definition is there in order to avoid the confusion that could take place in form of ativyapti into krodhadi. Okay? Because krodha, etc., various feelings also that you may have are also modifications of antakaranam, is not it? It is modification of antakaranam only. But we don't want to say this kind of modification is vritti. We don't want to go there. These are also modifications of the mind only. But we don't want to say that this is vritti. And therefore, ativyapti varanaya, in order to avoid the ativyapti, Rajiv, do you remember all these three doshas of the Lakshana? Rajiv, gaya kya so gaya?
Hariom Swamiji.
Do you remember what are the three doshas of a Lakshana? Tarka Sangraha.
The three doshas.
Atyapti, avyapti.
Sambhavana.
When the Lakshana, how should the Lakshana be? It should be free. The definition has to be free from ativyapti,
Avyapti.
Avyapti and asambhavana.
and
Avyapti.
asambhava dosha. When it is free from all these three, then this definition can be called as Lakshanam. It should be Nirdosha. You remember that? So every definition basically can become a Lakshanam only if it is free from these three defects. So also when you want to know what is vritti, we have to set the definition free from ativyapti, avyapti and asambhavana or asambhava dosha. From all the three doshas. And over here, this definition through the first part. What is the first part of the definition? Vishaya Chaitanya Abhivyanjakaha or Vishaya Chaitanya Abhivyanjakatvam. This is the first part. So in this first part, the ativyapti dosha which can take place is avoided. Where was the possibility of ativyapti? Where can the ativyapti take place according to the author?
Krodhadishu.
Krodhadishu. In other cognitions, modifications of the antakaranam, which are krodha, smriti, etc. Correct? We don't want to go there. We simply want to know what is vritti. Now we are not going into what are the other forms of modifications of the mind. We are interested in only one modification, specific modification of the mind, We are interested only in that Vishesha Parinama, not all other Parinamas. We are not interested. We want to have only one specific modification of the mind, which is called as vritti. Got it? So therefore, when it was said Vishaya Chaitanya Vivanjakatve Sati, the ativyapti which could have taken place into Krodha, Smriti, etc., is avoided. Okay? So Purvadalam has got a function. Is that clear, all of you?
Ji, Swamiji.
Yes, Swamiji.
So what is the function of the Purvadalam of this definition?
To avoid ati vyapti on krodha and all other emotions of the mind.
The rest of this. No. So their ativyapti is avoided. Now. So Purvadalam. Then Uttaradalam. What is the function of the second part of the definition? Chakshurado ativyapti varanaya. What does it do? Over there also, it helps us to avoid the defect of overspilling. Where does that overspilling take place? Chakshurado, in Chakshu, etc. Okay? Chakshurado ativyapti varanaya uttaradalam. So if you were only going to keep the first part of the definition, that definition also would have had been incomplete definition. Vishaya Chaitanya Bhivinjakatvam would become, because Chakshu, etc., this Chakshu and Shrotra, etc., what do? They also show you Vishaya Chaitanyam. Correct? They also show Vishaya Chaitanyam, Shabdasparshadi. Correct?
Yes, Swamiji.
And therefore, if you were to say that it is only Vishaya Chaitanya Vivanchakam, then it will also, that definition will go into the other things like the Chakshu, etc. Chakshu, and so when it is said it is this Antakarana Parinama, Ajnana Antakarana Yoho Parinama, then Chakshu, etc., are kept out of the range. And thus, Ativyapti Varanaya Purvottara Dalayoho Karyam. What is the Karyam? What is that is achieved by this Purvottara Dala? The dosha of Ativyapti. In the first part, the Ativyapti would have taken place in Krodha, Kama, Smriti, etc. And in the second part, if the second part was not there, the Ativyapti would have taken place into Chakshuradi. Okay? Now he explains that Uttaradalasya Karyam. Teshamapi Swajanya Vritti Dvara Vishaya Chaitanya Vivanjakatvad Tad Vyavrityartham Apekshitam. This Uttaradalam is Apekshitam, is expected to be there. Why? Because if it was not there, Chakshu, etc., also does the Vishaya Chaitanya Vivanjaka Karyam. Chakshu also does the Karyam. So we don't want to say Chakshu is Vritti. This is not Vritti. Chakshu is Indriya, it is Karanam, but it is not Vritti. Okay? No. Sir, that is fine. We have understood this part, that there are two dalas of the definition, and each dala has a specific function to perform. Yet, one thing is not clear to us, and that is, what exactly do you want to say by the word abhivyanjakam? So please explain to us what is abhivyanjakatvam. Okay? Please tell us what is. What do you want to know? The word abhivyanjakam. But if you understand what is abhivyanjakatvam, you will understand any abhivyanjaka. If you have understood what is ghatatvam, you will know all the ghatas. True?
Yes, Swamiji. Yes, Swamiji.
So, what is important, knowing ghata or ghatatvam?
Know the ghata.
Yeah, exactly. And therefore, if you want to know what is abhivyanjakam, know what is abhivyanjakatvam. And wherever this quality of abhivyanjakatvam is there, naturally that object will become abhivyanjakaha. Correct? And therefore, kim idam abhivyanjakatvam iti ashankya aha. So, what is that? That is the shanka. That what is this abhivyanjakatvam? And so now he answers that in the Moola Grantha, abhivyanjakatvam. Anand, read this line, please. Abhivyanjakatvam nama.
अभिव्यंजकत्वम नाम अपरोक्ष व्यवहार जनकत्व आवरण निवर्तकत्वम वा.
Abhivyanjakatvam nama, good. Abhivyanjakatvam nama aparoksha vyavahar janakatvam. Okay.
Yes, sir.
A. And at the end of the sentence, do you see va?
Yeah. Yes,
Va
yes.
means
Or.
athava.
Thava.
Chakresh? यहाँ पे अथवा. Athava, by that athava means that he is not happy with the first definition that was provided. Aruchi. Then why give the first definition? Because it is accepted by some people and he wants to show the difference and therefore he has given it. Okay? So, aparoksha vyavahara janakatvam athava avarana nivartakatvam. Abhivyanjakatvam nama, in the first definition, what does he say? What is abhivyanjakatvam?
Aparoksha vyavahara
Paroksha vyavahara.
Janakatvam, not aparoksha vyavahara. Aparoksha vyavahara janakatvam. Aparoksha vyavahara janakatvam means where it generates the direct, it generates the transaction of knowing something directly. I know. Aparoksha vyavahara janakatvam. This is a part, I know it directly. Done. Aparoksha janakatvam. But with a little aruchi, in the first definition which was given, it obviously has been given by some people before him. So he says that this definition is not what I have liked. So there is slight aruchi, his disapproval of it. And then, so he provides you with the second definition, which is avarana nivartakatvam. Okay. Now let's look at this abhivyanjakatvam. Nanu anumityadi vrittinam pratyaksha vyavahara janakatva bhavad avyaptihi iti aruchehe aha. Now look at that. Sir, that certain pramanas, all other pramanas like the, Anumana, Shabda, etc., they are also capable of generating vritti, generating knowledge. Vannimanayam parvataha, so that knowledge of Vanni is taking place or not. Knowledge of fire is taking place or not through Anumana, through inference.
Yes. Yes.
So inference also has generated a vritti, has generated that knowledge, correct?
Yes.
But is this knowledge of the fire something that is directly known?
No.
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 There is fire. I know this is fire, but your knowledge of the fire is not because you see the flames, or this knowledge of the fire is not because you feel the heat. So it is not aparoksha vyavahara of the fire. Yet the Anumana Pramana has generated the knowledge this is fire. And if you are going to say that Abhivyanjakatvam means aparoksha vyavahara janakatvam, then this quality is not present in Anumanadi Pramanas. Correct? Are you catching it?
Yes, Swamiji.
Chakresh,
जी स्वामी जी.
किसी को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है अभी? डॉक्टर मंगला?
Swamiji, I understood.
हाँ, वेरी गुड. किसी को प्रॉब्लम हो तो अब भी बता दो. So now, so this pratyaksha vyavahara janakatva bhava is there. Pratyaksha vyavahara janakatva bhava, that vyavahara, that which generates this vyavahara, that I know directly, such thing is not possible with inference, etc. And therefore, this definition is in a way incomplete. This definition is defective, and therefore he shows aruchi in this kind of definition. Obviously, some people before him, some schools of thought or somebody has provided this definition of abhivyanjakatvam as pratyaksha vyavahara janakatvam. He says, no, sir. This definition is fraught with a defect. Though it is applicable only to pratyaksha pramana, but pratyaksha pramanas are not the only pramanas which will generate the cognitions. Correct?
Yes, Swamiji.
Even inference also generates the cognition. There is fire.
Yes, Swamiji.
And therefore, this definition that you are saying, aparoksha vyavahara janakatvam, is not good. He has a dislike, aruchi towards it. Aruchi means
Not
dislike.
satisfied. Not satisfied.
Not satisfied. He is aruchi. Iti aruchehe, and because of this aruchi, he gives you the second one. What is the second one?
Avarana
Avarana
nivartakam.
Nivartakatvam. Tvam is important. like the pot and the potness. So,
Swamiji. Swamiji,
Nivartakatvam. This is the second. And this seems to be a sound definition of, what is this definition of?
Abhivanjakatvam.
Abhivanjakatvam.
Correct. Abhivanjakatvam. Why are you asking for the definition of Abhivanjakatvam?
Yes,
To
Aruchi
explain
in the
Vishaya
first
Aruchi.
one about the
No. Why are you asking about the definition of Abhivanjakatvam?
to know the
It's part of
What is
definition of
Abhivanjaka?
Vritti.
Very good. Why do you want to know that? Because
To
it is the part of
understand the
vritti.
vritti.
But why do you want to know what is vritti?
To understand Akhandakara
Understand
Vritti.
Akhandakar Vritti.
Correct. So this is the whole link, step by step. So we will see what is Avarana Nivartakatvam of vritti tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanta Shanta Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Brahmaham Yat Prasadena Mai Vishwam Prakalpitam Srimad Swayam Prakashakyam Pranami Jagatan Gurum. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. ठीक है. Okay.
Swamiji,
हाँ.
Swamiji, this is a pot, and we see the pot. So Vishaya is there, hence this cognition could be taken as a vritti. Now it happened, and now tomorrow comes, and I am, say, for example, traveling in a bus, and I think about the pot. Is it a vritti?
It is memory. It is a modification of the Antakaranam only. It is Antakarana's one parinam.
But it is not vritti.
Over here, in this particular Shastra, he does not call this as a vritti. But in Yoga Shastra, even Smriti is also called as vritti.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Okay. Mahadev.
Namaste, Swamiji.